Three things I like about the Rogue Olympic Weightlifting Barbell is the super grippy knurling, the smooth rate of spin on the loading sleeves, and the fact that it has a tensile strength rating of 215,000 PSI. I've been using this barbell for all of my Olympic lifts lately, so let's go ahead and talk about all of my findings. Yo, what's up everybody? It's Jake back in the BarBend garage gym, and for today's video, I've got the Rogue Olympic Weightlifting Barbell in for review. In this video, I'm gonna take you through everything you need to know about this barbell, from the price and the features, some pros and cons, and of course, who should or maybe should not add this to their home gym. But before I get going with any of that, I gotta let you in on a little secret right here. We have reviewed a ton of barbells on barbend.com. So if you wanna browse our best list, all you gotta do is search BarBend, best barbells, and you can find out for yourself which one takes home that #1 spot. Okay, so what do I like about this barbell? Well, first and foremost, it has a really respectable tensile strength rating of 215,000 PSI. Now, tensile strength is gonna essentially determine how strong a barbell is and really tell you how much punishment it can go through before it begins to bend on you. Now, since this rating is pretty close to that max number of around 230, maybe even 235,000 PSI, you're really gonna be able to put this barbell through the ringer in the gym, trust me. Since this is in fact an Olympic barbell, the spin on the loading sleeves is huge when it comes to those Olympic lifts, such as a power clean. And I gotta say, the spin on these loading sleeves right here is arguably the smoothest I've ever felt on a barbell, so that's really nice. Also, I really like the knurling right here. It's super grippy. It's not too abrasive though. I mean, that's obviously really crucial because you wanna have a good grip when you're doing those Olympic lifts, but not to the point where it's gonna tear your hands up, and that's not gonna happen here with this barbell. And speaking of knurling, you do have a center knurling right here, and this isn't something that I typically like, but since this really isn't that abrasive right here, and it really just provides you a little bit extra grip as you're going to do that power clean, and the barbell is sticking to your chest, I personally really like that. And since it's also approved by the IWF, it's so official, all it needs is a whistle. Okay, so let's talk about a couple issues you may run into with this barbell. Now, obviously, it's coming from Rogue, so it's going to be pretty expensive. So I have the zinc version. This is right around $560, and that's before taxes. Now, shipping is free, so that's nice, but you're basically gonna be spending around $600 just on this barbell. And considering it's a specialty bar and it's not that versatile since you can't really do powerlifting with it, I don't really think you wanna do that because the knurling is not as abrasive as a powerlifting bar would be, or even some of those multi-purpose bars like the Rogue Ohio bar is. So, because of that, there's probably not a ton of people who are gonna be jumping at the bit to go and buy this barbell because odds are you're only looking to have one barbell in your garage gym, and you want one that is as highly versatile as possible. And once again, this is the zinc version of this bar. Now there's a couple other versions out there for you to purchase. I'll talk about that in just a second, but this version specifically, it's not gonna be the best for somebody who's not keeping all their gear, stashed in a climate controlled environment. So luckily I have AC in this garage now, but zinc is more prone to rust and corrosion forming than what a stainless steel bar or even a Cerakote bar would be. So definitely keep that in mind as well. All right, so let's talk some cash money now. Once again, this is the zinc version of this barbell, and it's listed right around $560 before taxes. Now, there's also a Cerakote version that's listed around $605 before taxes. There's also a stainless steel version of this bar. That's gonna come stock with chrome sleeves, but you can swap it out for stainless steel. Now, that one's starting at 620 bucks, but if you do in fact want those stainless steel sleeves for more protection from rust and corrosion, that's gonna be an additional $80 or so. Once you tack on shipping with that, you're spending over $700 just on that stainless steel barbell. But the grip from it might be worth it. There's also a 25mm version for you to purchase as well, which is available for right around 550 bucks or so. Now, it is worth mentioning that this zinc version right here is the only one that comes with that center knurling, so definitely keep that in mind. Now, if you don't want to shell out $600 up front, maybe even $700 if you go with that stainless steel with the stainless steel sleeves, You can definitely finance this barbell. There's two different options for you to work with. You can use Affirm or you can use Pay Later from PayPal. Now, Affirm is going to run a credit score check on you. It's not going to affect your score, but it is going to determine how much you pay. And then Pay Later has a couple different options for you to work with as well. You can pay over 24 months or you can make 4 interest-free payments. So definitely just check out those options and see what works best for you. Now, compared to the rest of the market, there's a lot of cheaper Olympic barbells out there for you to purchase. And there's also a lot of multi-purpose bars as well that are also cheaper. So, unless you're really having an emphasis on Olympic lifting, maybe that's the only style of lifting that you really do, I would definitely recommend checking out those other options because they're probably just as strong, they're more versatile, and you're gonna save a couple $100s. But if I'm playing devil's advocate, this is a really sound barbell. And when it comes to your Olympic lifting needs, this is likely the only Olympic style bar that you're ever gonna need to purchase. Okay, so let's talk about the build now and some features with this Olympic lifting barbell. Now, once again, this is the zinc version of this bar. From end to end, it's fully zinc. It's also available in Cerakote and stainless steel if you would prefer, that over a zinc coated barbell. This is the 20 kilogram version of this bar. It's 86.6 inches in length with 16.2 inch loading sleeves. Now, there's also a 25 millimeter bar that's referring to the diameter, of course. That's gonna be 79 inches in length, and it's gonna have 12.5 inch loading sleeves. Now, I gotta say, for a zinc barbell, the knurling right here is awesome. So those zinc bars, because of that coating, can tend to be a little less grippy than a stainless steel bar can be. I gotta say, Rogue definitely did their homework with this barbell and they just knocked it out of the park. It's definitely grippy, but it's not too abrasive where it's gonna tear your hands up as you're going to do a power clean. So that's a really nice touch. The center knurling right here is also gonna be really nice in terms of keeping that bar on your chest and adding a little bit of traction as you go to do those power cleans and really just make it stick right there for you. It also has a tensile strength rating of 215,000 PSI, and in my personal opinion, I think that is more than enough for an Olympic style lift. Now, since this is an Olympic lifting bar, once again, it's approved by the IWF for competitions, which is really cool. You're only gonna have one set of knurl markings right here, and those are set, of course, by the IWF. So it's really nice, you know exactly where to put your hands as you're going to do, a wide grip style version of those lifts, which is really cool. Now, you do have a pair of 5 needle bearings in both of the sleeves. It's gonna really allow you to get a really solid rate of spin. And the sleeves themselves are actually friction welded together, and that's done by applying heat and pressure and spinning the two together all at one time to where it's really just one single piece. Now, a lot of barbells out there, let's talk about the Rogue Ohio bar. You can take those sleeves off and re-lubricate them and make sure everything spins nicely. Well, you can't do that with these sleeves right here, but I don't think that's really something you're gonna have to worry about. I've felt as if they're pretty solid and they're gonna stay solid for a really long time. The sleeves also have a really solid groove pattern right here, and if you don't really know what those are for, it's really just gonna assist you in terms of keeping your plates in their original placement. Obviously, you don't want them towards the end of the sleeve. You want them as close to you in your hands really as possible. Now, you definitely need to toss some weight collars on here just to help you out and for your own safety, but I'm really impressed by these grooves on these loading sleeves. And let's talk about the zinc one more time. Yeah, it is gonna provide some protection from rust and corrosion, but if you're not in a climate controlled environment, this is not gonna be the optimal choice for you. You definitely wanna take a hard look at that stainless steel or the Cerakote versions because those are gonna be, the go-to, with stainless steel definitely reigning supreme. So definitely keep that in mind. You'll probably have to clean this more so than you would if it was stainless steel, but as long as you do clean it every once in a while, I don't think you'll have any problems whatsoever. All right, you know what time it is? It's time for the walk around. So let's go ahead and look at these loading sleeves right here. Once again, it's stamped, it's so official that all it needs is a whistle. It's approved by the IWF for weightlifting competitions, so it's really nice. If you're a competitor, this could be a really nice addition to your home gym. I really like these grooves right here on the loading sleeves. They're pretty impressive to me, and it does a really good job of keeping your weight plates in their original placement, but I definitely still recommend, I'm always going to use some weight collars for your own protection. Now, these also have a really nice rate of spin thanks to the 5 needle bearings. It's gonna be really nice as you go to do those Olympic style lifts and really help that bar, twist and turn in your hands and really get the weight up. Let's move further on down the line now. I'm really impressed with this knurling right here, especially since this is a zinc barbell. Now, because of that zinc coating, a lot of times, zinc bars, they're not as grippy as a stainless steel bar is. And honestly, I knew I was getting a zinc bar, but I kind of thought it was stainless steel when I first put my hands on it because the grip felt that good, in my opinion. Now, once again, it's an IWF bar, it's an Olympic bar, so you only have one set of knurl markings, and that's really gonna be nice as you go to do those lifts. And once again, this is a zinc bar. It's not gonna be the optimal choice in terms of rust and corrosion protection. Luckily, there is a Cerakote and a stainless steel version if you're ever worried about that. You don't really wanna clean the bar all that much. And lastly, you do have a center knurling right here. I'm typically not too crazy about center knurlings, but this really isn't abrasive. It's kind of just there to give you a little bit more traction and really help that bar stick to your chest. And yeah, I gotta say, in my time using it, I've definitely been able to tell a difference. Okay, so let's talk about the people who should purchase this barbell. Well, if you're an Olympic lifter or you're a CrossFitter, this bar is perfect for that style of lift. Obviously, it is an Olympic bar. And if you do have a main focus on that style of lift, then I don't know why you wouldn't want to consider this barbell. It has a tensile strength rating of 215,000 PSI, which I think is gonna be more than enough for most people out there watching. And lastly, it is approved by the IWF once again. So if you're a competitor, I think you're gonna love this barbell. Okay, so who should not purchase this barbell? Well, this is a specialty bar. It's designed for Olympic lifting, obviously, but also CrossFit as well. So it's not really meant to be used for any powerlifting. I'm sure you could if you really wanted to, but it's really not what it's meant for by any means necessary. So if you're not pretty much only doing those two style of lifts, I would definitely suggest checking out some multi-purpose bars that can really handle everything. Once again, this is the zinc version of this bar. So if you're not in a climate controlled environment, you definitely want to check out the stainless steel or the Cerakote versions. Now, those are going to cost you more money, but it might be worth it, because of longevity. And let's talk about money again. This is expensive. It's going to be at least around $600. And if you're on a tight budget, you don't want to spend that much money on just a barbell. Once again, I think you should check out some cheaper Olympic bars, or maybe even just go for a multi-purpose bar, like I just said, and it's gonna be able to handle everything and save you some money as well. That's about all I got for y'all today on the Rogue Olympic Weightlifting Barbell. Honestly, it was love at first sight for me in this barbell. The knurling is awesome. The sleeves spin at a really high rate, and it has a really respectable tensile strength rating of 215,000 PSI. Just remember, this is the zinc version of this bar. And if you're not in a climate controlled environment, then you're probably gonna have to spend more money on an already expensive barbell just to go for that stainless steel version. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. I hope this video was really helpful and that I was able to break down everything you need to know about this barbell. As always, stay posted for my next review. But for now, you know what you should do? Well, I think you should go over to barbend.com and read more about this barbell. All you gotta do is search BarBend Rogue Olympic Weightlifting Bar Review, and you'll find all the details and everything I discussed here today. I'll see y'all next time.